The planet, called Caldrith 7 by human cartographers, had no reason to be anyone's home. It was a scarred, hostile rock on the edge of colonized space. Its atmosphere churned with perpetual storms, flashes of green lightning illuminating skies thick with roiling ash clouds. The ground was jagged, covered in bioluminescent fungi that glowed faintly toxic blues and greens. Everything that lived here was either predatory, venomous, or parasitic, often all three. Caldrith 7 wasn't meant for survival, it was a death sentence. Dax Calder had been living here for 3 years. The crumbling outpost he called home was little more than a metal shell, a prefabricated structure abandoned decades ago by surveyors when Caldrith 7 was deemed uninhabitable. It had long since fallen into disrepair. Panels buckled. The air filtration system wheezed more than it hummed, and the dim yellow lights flickered like ghosts reluctant to leave. Despite this, it was home, or at least the closest thing Dax could manage after leaving Earth behind. The man and his ghosts. Dax wasn't running from something as much as he was dragging it with him. Every night when he closed his eyes, his mind replayed the same grisly scene. The burning remains of a refugee camp, his daughter's cries smothered under the roar of flames, and the blank, lifeless gaze of his wife's corpse. It was war that had done it. Another nameless battle on another forgotten planet. The kind of war that tore apart families and left survivors as hollow as the dead. He survived, though he wished he hadn't. Now, the ghosts of his family haunted him relentlessly, not as apparitions but as memories etched too deep in his mind. And Caldrith 7? It was the perfect place for a man who wanted to be forgotten. Here, his days were filled with the practicalities of survival, scavenging for alien vegetation that wouldn't poison him, maintaining the outpost's decrepit power systems, and fending off the occasional predator that wandered too close. But the nights were when the planet showed its true face. Caldrith 7 had a presence. Dax couldn't explain it, but he could feel it. A psychic hum in the air, a pressure that grew heavier as the sun dipped below the jagged horizon. Sometimes he swore he heard whispers in the storm winds. Sometimes he thought he saw shadows move in ways they shouldn't. But the worst were the dreams. At first, he thought they were just his mind torturing him, replaying his wife's screams, his daughter's final moments. But the dreams had grown sharper, more visceral. They weren't just memories, they were something more. He could smell the smoke, taste the blood in the air. Sometimes he woke with scratches on his arms, as if the nightmares had clawed their way into the waking world. Caldrith 7 wasn't just alive, it was aware. At least that's what the scattered notes from long-dead surveyors suggested. There was something in the soil, in the storms, in the air itself, a psychic presence that fed on strong emotions. Fear, grief, rage, it didn't matter. The more someone suffered, the more the planet fed, and the hungrier it became.